Hello everyone, I'm Trix, and this is a brand new series called Goblin Time. What we're going to do in this series is we're going to look at different types of goblins and their lore and their origins and how we came to know from a very small diminutive spirit in English folklore that was probably a bit of a trickster, a bit of a rogue, a bit of an impish character, into the goblins that we have today, say for example Green Goblin in Marvel Comics, or goblins in Warhammer, goblins in Pathfinder, etc, etc. So today we're going to look at where the word goblin comes from. Okay, so in today's episode, as I said, we're going to look at the origins of the word goblin. Now, there's a lot of theory behind this, not so much evidence, unfortunately, because when you go far enough back, you get a lot of links that might be links or they might be red herrings. So from what I can find, the earliest time in English that the word goblin appears is in about the 14th century. But again, that's very weird because it's not exactly the same word, it's called goblinus. So again, back when you go far enough, you get into Norman French, you get into Old English, you get into things that are very different than our modern spelling. So you have to make a lot of links between things that might not actually be links. Again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my sources in the description, so if you want to check those out, please do. So according to T.F. Hood, right, he claims that the first time that it appears in English is in the 14th century. Now, if we go back to Ambrose of Normandy, the book that he wrote in 1195, I believe it was translated into English around the 14th century. So that's why we've got that word there. It goes then further back to Old Medieval Latin in 1141 in the Ordric Vitalis. Could also be traced to the word kobold, which is a sort of Germanish spirit, which have a completely different look now, but because that goes again back to Medieval Latin, which then gets changed into Greek, you get the Greek word for knave or imp or again rogue or goblin. There is also another possibility to Old French for someone who sells beakers, tumblers or goblets. These are all types of links that we have, and unfortunately we don't have any guarantees of where you can draw a straight line from A to B to C. Unfortunately we don't. So there we go. Now if you start translating the word goblin or knocker in Welsh and in Cornish, you get something vastly different from a green skin that we're familiar with today that goes back to mining spirits. That will be covered in the knocker video at a later date. So, what have we learned today, basically? We've learned that it's a name which has its origins possibly in Greek or possibly in a French or medieval Latin dialect. The creatures in folklore are often described as being short, hairy, mischievous, lovers of gold, cheeky, but not altogether evil. That's something which comes out later when you start getting into the 18th and 19th centuries. Where do we get our idea of the green skin, the sneaky, the vicious, angry creature from? Mainly you can probably say it was J.R.R. Tolkien, but J.R.R. Tolkien uses the word goblin and orc interchangeably. At one point he'll call Azog a goblin king or goblin leader, and then another time he'll call him a great orc. Orc was used to denote the stature of a type of goblin. Then it goes from that to Dungeons and Dragons, which old Gary Gygax made. Now that probably has most of where we get our ideas from goblins from Tolkien to Dungeons and Dragons. From here, from this intro video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take different goblins from different settings, such as Warhammer, such as Age of Sigmar, such as the Gretchen in Warhammer 40k, such as the ones in Pathfinder, and any other setting. If you know a setting that's got goblins in and you want me to cover it, please send it to me. And the video will break down how they originally came out, originally appeared maybe in the setting and how they evolved, or originally were they monsters and can they become player characters now, etc, etc. Next time, as it's kind of my wheelhouse type thing, I'm going to do goblins in Warhammer Fantasy Battle, which is a game that has, well, it's been replaced by Age of Sigmar now, but I think they're bringing it back with the old world. So I thought it'd be nice to cover the old Warhammer Goblins. So I want to thank everyone for taking time to watch me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was at least a little bit informative. And yeah, take care and bye bye.